Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Motherland, Salem, Season 2, Episode 1 of The Blood. I am so excited this show is back. It kind of snuck up on me. It was like last week, I think, and I was just like, I wonder when some of my show's coming back. Next week! So that was a very pleasant surprise, but I am also very, very concerned. If you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. You can find the edited versions of all my reactions on my Patreon. I don't know why I said that right now, but what I meant to say was I also react to Season 1 that is on my Patreon and on my YouTube. You can go back and watch that if you are interested. But the end of the last season was phenomenal. It was amazing, but I am very, very stressed because my favourite character became a biddy and I'm not okay with that. She deserves so much more out of her life than that. I understand why she did it, but I also hate it and I'm stressed. So yeah, also just there was so much other stuff, you know, the truth of Ray's powers and how did I doubt myself that was even her name? I know these characters' names. What is wrong with me? Truth of her powers and her mother being alive and everything. I'm just so ready. So yeah, without further ado, let's go. She's a very beautiful voice, but what is happening? Is she an uncalled witch? Tally's not okay either.
It's unlike anything I have.
Tally, she needs her life back. Still find the biddies creepy and I'm still not happy that Tally's one of them.
Attack on the Bellwether wedding had nothing to do with the spree. There's something else.
Interesting. Was it, like, who did it then? Was it the calamari? I can't remember their name, but... Ooh. The spree were attacked as well? Your daughter's okay.
Abigail is the last
It was Abigail's choice to come, and a brave one at that.
Abigail and Rael will be back. Ooh. Fix Tally right now.
I'm so sorry.
Tally is so young and full of life and the least deserving of this.
Clover's daughter will need to be tested. Goddess knows how many more are out there.
Yeah.
Find them. Agreed. We need to get to them before the Camarilla does.
That would help solve the problem of there being no witches.
If you keep calling me shitbird every 2 seconds, it's not going to be special anymore. And I really want it to be special.
Shut up.
Oh.
I think we did this.
Not intentionally. Oh, Tally.
I would like to offer you something very rare. An opportunity to resume your life as it was.
I made a decision.
No!
It's an offer.
Please, Tally.
Think about it carefully.
Oh, wait till you find out your sisters are alive. Because right now she thinks she's lost Abigail and Rael, and what's the point of living? She learnt too, at the same time.
Alive.
Abigail and Rael are about to board transport home.
Yes.
Answers, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, this is everything I wanted.
Your wife probably had some inkling that she was one of us.
Well,
unfortunately, we can't ask her.
I'm sorry for your loss.
is it at all possible that it could be passed through the mail lines randomly or something, every now and then?
Me to give you my daughter, and my daughter's daughters in perpetuity.
As our kind have done for centuries.
That is
This country safe.
the rule. And that's what the spree are against. It's the law of the land, you have no choice. And if you declare yourself above it, then everyone gets to be above it too. Oh.
Go. You may be the greatest bellwether yet, my daughter. Is there any chance we could see Tally?
Oh.
I won't take the second chance for granted.
Oh, I hope not.
I love you too.
Oh. Tally, 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 Tally. Tally! Oh, thank God. That is so good that there's a way that if you do it in the line of battle, it doesn't have to stay. Oh, oh, please be okay, sweetheart. My loves. I love them so much. Oh, my loves.
Guys are alive.
I love them so
That
much.
was you two, right? You guys are a bomb.
Yeah, but
I love their love for each other.
Alder what we can do. Alder's Alder, let's not forget. Meaning?
Yeah.
Wow, a little defensive.
She used to be a biddy. It's gonna be in there somehow.
I know she's complicated, but I believe in her.
I love their sisterhood. My girls are back.
I thought you were dead. We thought you were old.
I'm so happy.
You're tired.
Break everything down to powder and put it in neat little piles. Or we could cut to the chase.
Oh, they should.
We don't understand this work yet. We will master it.
They're very important.
brilliant, dangerous women gone like that.
You murder innocent people who were bright, brilliant, just shopping. You murder them. Don't forget that.
That's a fetch. We're on the move. She's been tracked.
Ooh. They're working together.
You to train them to wield this new gift immediately. Dismissed.
I actually had a few questions.
For example,
How can I stand down?
by putting that passion into your training, cadet. Master
Yeah.
this new weapon as
They're
promised.
still baby witches.
Then we can talk about the Camarilla.
Oh. Oh.
This was my mom's.
I know. And I know you saved that boy. Just like you saved me.
Oh.
As soon as I know what we're
So,
up to.
is what happened to do with her touching the mushroom or Rael's own specialness, or a combination of all of it?
We broke up.
Her great loss, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Ooh, is that the effects of Abigail having a nice time?
Hello?
Everything where it should be?
I've missed you so much. Like, I've never missed anyone in my life, and it's only been like
All their side effects.
The bond we shared will endure forever. In some small way.
You will get through this, sweetheart.
I'm afraid you have no choice.
I'm surprised they don't test like every girl. Your whole life is not what you thought it was.
Service should come any moment. Welcome, daughter.
I suppose if she's lost her mother, maybe all these women, maternal figures around will actually be something she would look to. And what is he gonna do? Is he gonna try and change the law so she doesn't have to fight or something because she's his kid?
The violence of the spree. More and more people who are disappointed by our army's ambivalence to doing something about them.
The army's not ambivalent. Just creating anti-witch sentiment that the Camarilla is gonna be feeding into. Yep.
Hate is a disease. Find patient 0. I'm in.
You've created the atmosphere for this by attacking everyone.
you guys. Need to check on me, no big deal. So, how great was it? Did you quake too? I always quake. But, no, it's more than sex with this one. Feels like destiny or something.
Oh.
Do I need to start planning the hand fasting? That boy loves you. What do we do now? What haven't you done?
Yay! Tally is tallying. I'm so happy. They're all here.
Congratulations.
They more than earned this.
You've all grown so much, and I am very proud of you.
I love Milo. I just love these characters so much. How are you doing? Has she ever unlinked from someone before? Tally? She's getting her memories, but she said she didn't get when she was a biddy. Oh, gross. Oh, no thank you. This is just... who thought of this? She's having Alder's nightmares. Oh, wow, Tally. Has Alder ever been through this side of the process before?
It wasn't real. It wasn't real.
Oh. Oh, God.
Tell me those aren't real.
This is not good. No! I love this show so much. I am so glad it's back. My biggest fear was that Tally was going to stay as one of the biddies, and even though I was like, that's really unlikely, and maybe if she does, it will only be for a few episodes, I was like, I'm just not going to be okay if my favourite character has to lose her entire life. So I'm so glad that not only did they have a way to reverse it, but that Ola offered it to her, and the minute she found out her sisters are alive, we got straight past the grief and straight into the reunions, and that was everything. My favourite part of this show is, and has always been, the sisterhood between these characters, whether it's kind of the army in general, but most specifically Tally, Raelle and Abigail. I love all three of them dearly. Tally is the one that speaks to me the most, so she's my favourite, but I dearly love the three of them, and they all present something different that the team needs, and I just I adore them. I am glad they told people about the fact that it was them that created the explosion, because while that could be dangerous, while they could, I don't know, be exploited or put into a lab of some kind, I think they don't understand it themselves, so the safest course of action is to tell people, and that was with two of them. What would happen if the three of them were involved? You know, with Tally as well. If she'd been there, would it have been even bigger? What's going on? I think it is really important that they told people, even if I'm still, you know, the sort of monopoly on power that Alder has still doesn't sit right with me. It didn't in season 1. I don't think she has bad motives, but I do think it is dangerous to have one person having so much power, especially when she's had that power for such a long period of time. Abigail's mother is obviously kind of the voice of opposition. She doesn't just say yes ma'am, no ma'am, she kind of holds her to account. So for Abigail and Raelle, that beginning bit where they were just sort of just walking and hoping they would find someone, so like still traumatised over the effects of the battle they'd just been in and almost dying, not to mention thinking that they'd lost Tally. That was just very traumatic, and I'm glad that they were found. They didn't have to continue just aimlessly walking. And then when Tally got to hear that they were alive, and I was like, the minute she hears they're alive, she's going to say yes to that offer, and she did. And they were the first thing she saw when she opened her eyes again as a young woman, and just, it was everything, absolutely everything. Their love for each other being there, their characters are just the same characters that I loved and had missed. They're just... seeing the growth in these characters from thinking in the beginning of season 1 when, you know, Abigail wanted off the team and she didn't like Raelle and Tally was just trying to keep peace, and now seeing their love for each other, the way they support each other is everything. So I am really glad that they immediately reversed Tally being an old biddy, because she is so full of joy and life and youth that I couldn't think of anyone worse to be created as a biddy. I don't agree with the biddies as a concept. I do kind of think Alder should really just get replacements and die. I don't know why she has to stick alive. I kind of can understand her point of view of it. Oh, I'm the most experienced, I have the most knowledge, but why? Why should she? But obviously there are young women who are brainwashed into thinking that they're, okay, no, but you know, they're kind of, they think it's a great honour and they go through all the training and they reach that point. Now obviously Tally, she still has the connection to Alder. Now I do kind of think it probably will die down with time, but her having Alder's dreams, if Alder finds out about that, she's not going to be happy, because she doesn't seem like the kind of person, you know, even when Tally started telling Abigail's boyfriend, whose name has escaped me, about being a biddy, the instant hissing or clicking or shaking heads was like, no, we're not doing that. You don't tell people about this. So I don't think Alder's going to be too happy that Tally's having visions. I do think Alder cares about the women under her command, but she's also, her version of caring about them will still send them into the front lines willy-nilly. Alder has been through a lot of traumatic things as well, so if Tally has nightmares about this and then feels the effects on her, like, Tally deserves them, I'm stressed. That is a lot. I hope in a way they do tell them so that they can look into this. And I wonder if this has ever happened before, because surely over 200 years or however many years it's been, one of Alder's biddies has fallen suddenly in battle and there hasn't been a replacement. I kind of feel like, to be honest, what Alder should do from now on is always travel with her biddies and a young woman who, like a young witch, who is the one that's going to step into the breach should it be needed. But, well, so that it isn't just relying on the goodwill and willingness of a loyal soldier nearby. And Tally was kind of, unless I'm totally misremembering, she was a little bit unsure of Alder going into this mission. You know, she was kind of the one that was voicing a lot of, I don't know if we should do this, I don't know if we should trust this, and now she is so wholeheartedly kind of supporting her because she's got the connection to her, sort of changing her perception, but I think also she's kind of felt what Alder believes and understands Alder does want to do the right thing, but I'm stressed. And you know, the minute Raelle was like, oh, should we retell Alder? And Tally was like, why wouldn't we? She's head of the army. I'm scared that kind of in that way Tally has lost a little bit of her independence and her free will because she's so loyal to Alder now. But then she was one of the biddies, and you know, that feeling of mourning the connection that you've lost, because that kind of connection is beyond comprehension to someone that hasn't experienced it. It is so all-encompassing, and you know, Tally was part of that for that short period of time, and now, while she is so happy to not be, while she's so happy to have her sisters and her life back, she will be feeling the loss of that, and now there's the repercussions of these dreams. And I think it's telling that when Tally was saying that she said, yeah, I didn't have any of her memories, I couldn't access her memories, but now she is feeling the full force of the memories. So that is interesting going forwards. Is it linked somehow to do with the strength of their sisterhood, of their magic? And the whole explosion, the mushroom thing, obviously Raelle touched the mushroom and had a little bit on her finger. Did that activate extra powers in them? Is it just something in Raelle that is extra? Because she's always been very skilled with her healing work and sort of different to the others, and her mother is very interested in her, etc. Is that all linked into the two, what is creating this huge mushroom explosion thing? Or is it just literally because she touched the mushroom? And she's not told anyone she touched the mushroom, but I am so excited for these girls to get to go to War College. They deserve it so much. They've earned it on the front lines. And to be honest, I think they were not given it out of spite rather than out of genuine, like, not having earned it. So I am very intrigued to see where this goes, to see what War College actually is, how it shapes up. I guess we'll still see Anacostia maybe more on the side of being, like, with Scylla rather than being training the girls. Then we had the process of the vice president's daughter being revealed to have magic, and it was dormant in the line. Part of me wonders if, like, we've seen men from other witch organisations, tribes, whatever they call them, covens, using magic, I think. So does that imply that maybe men do have a lesser version of the magic? Could it be passed down through men? Why do I feel like the vice president is probably equally a Camarillo? I always want to call them calamari. I got to the last season as well. The Camarillo or whatever. I'm worried about kind of what he's going to do going forwards. Maybe he'll try and like defund the military or change the laws so that you don't have to, so that his daughter and his granddaughters won't have to go into that line of work. Or will he become a very loyal person on the front lines? I do kind of think, while I think there would be a lot of resentment to this because it's conscription and I don't agree with conscription and I never have, I do think, surely at this point, given that they are worried about dwindling witch numbers, they probably will go into every school in America and or just make it mandated that every girl must be tested, even if it's just holding that thing up to see if you've got the glowy vocal cords, because they need these numbers desperately. So I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't what happened next. And we've seen from the Spree's little investigation that there's a lot of anger towards witches, and that is right for the Camarilla to exploit. Now, I do think Raelle's mum being like, this anger is a cancer, like, find the source and get rid of it, or whatever, like, oh, how could they think this, these terrible people? They literally, like, are angry because you've murdered a lot of innocent people, and they don't think the army has done enough to stop you. You've caused this situation that you now find yourselves in. You have given everyone that hates witches fuel and ammunition and 1,000 million recruits. So short-sighted. I do agree that I think the concept of what the Spree's aims are, of conscription being wrong, of killing anyone, of like forcibly conscripting people, killing people to prove a point if they don't want to conscript, I don't agree with. I would support the Spree with that level. But murdering innocents, no, you've crossed the line. So I do not like Raelle's mother. I will never like Raelle's mother. I think Scylla, were she to come to feel remorseful about the people she's killed, I could like. I know I don't hate Scylla, I think her heart is in the right place. I think she is a very hurt young woman. She was a hurt child who was then brainwashed by the spree into being willing to kill innocents for her cause, when all she did was create people to feel the same way she did. I don't agree with their methods, and I never have. Their cause might be one I could get behind, but killing innocent people is a minute you immediately invalidate everything you stand for. And they've created an environment for the Camarilla to flourish. You know, people aren't going to just look at the witches as being these brave, you know, I think someone offering Tally their seat on the flight because, you know, thank you for your service kind of attitude. But witches also are killing people and aren't being stopped. So I do wonder if at some point we're going to end up with this spree having to kind of work with the military, the army, because, you know, enemy of my enemy is my begrudging ally. But I also think, I don't know, they've just done too much, and that might be the final straw for a lot of people. So definitely the anti-witch sentiment is going to grow further because, let's face it, there are witch terrorists, and that never, ever, ever builds like comfort for. Oh, people are always going to go against you if you're murdering innocents, surprisingly enough. The military has been doing everything they can to stop the spree. They've been losing their own, but if you're a person on the ground who isn't given all of the information of the classified missions and everything, you're not going to think they're doing very much. And they don't want to put about, yeah, we lost these people, these people, these people, these people to the spree, because then they look weak. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation in that sense. But I did think it was very funny the way she was so affronted that these people could be anti-witches just because we've murdered their families. I hope Scylla is going to continue to work with Anacostia. It's going to continue to kind of make sure, like, be against the spree committing acts of violence. Now, for all, I'm glad that it wasn't the spree that attacked the wedding, but they also just murdered innocent people. Just because they didn't kill those people doesn't acquit them of everything. But it is very scary to think that there is this, not only is the Camarilla rising, but they've got the suppressant tools, they're using the work against our witches. Like, it is very stressful. The situation is extraordinarily stressful, but also ripe for a fantastic season. I have my girls back, my sisters, I love them. I'm so excited to see where this goes. Another reason I hate Rael's mother is simply because she has let Rael think she was dead all this time. Now, I can maybe understand she's on the run or whatever, but she could have been there for her daughter. I don't know. But all that aside, we will see how this all pans out. There's a lot of, for Rael, a lot of revelations coming. No doubt she'll be reunited with Scylla. I hope Scylla is at a place that I can support their relationship, because I kind of couldn't last season, even though if Scylla was who she said she was, I would have done. Or if Scylla just hadn't murdered innocent people but was just against conscription, I would have supported them. Stress. But Tally is back. Abigail and Rael are back. They're together. They're going to War College. I'm excited. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction and all of my reactions, including Season 1, on my Patreon. Season 1 is also on YouTube edited, and thank you so much for watching.